you can see that he continued to walk with God. He kept obeying God. Even though he had his times of struggle, we've read that. But when you pray for Abraham's blessing, you need to endeavor to walk in obedience. And that's a powerful one. So I'm going to open up and we're going to read 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 16. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 16. Okay, so I'm there, I'll read it. And having a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Now, what does that mean? Your blessings are directly linked to obedience because you need to listen to God, take action in faith, and then you will get the results. Right? Like how a farmer needs to show up at the farm, till the soil, plant the seed, and have faith that with all his, what he has done in collaboration with God, the seeds will yield a bountiful harvest. So, according to what we just read, 2 Corinthians 10:6, total obedience births us total victory. And I think this is very important for us to note, because if you do recall, one of the messages for our July is a month of miracles, victory, and peace. So it becomes vital for you to understand that all of that is hinged on your obedience to God, directions of the Holy Spirit, and how you choose to live your life. What you choose to do is not enough to just pray for the manifestations of God's promises or for a blessed old age. If you are not in any way not going to be obedient, you're not going to continue to walk with God, you're not going to respect whatever covenants you have with God or your relationship with God, either way. So when you know God early in life, it gives you the privilege to position yourself for blessing all through your life, even into old age. And how is that? How do you position yourself? We just talked about that, through your obedience, amongst other things. All right, so we come to that marks the end of our part 3. All right, now let's talk.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you go, the part 3, what did you call
the title, Abby?
Yes.
When you know.
Ecclesiastes 12:1.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians. What did you?
2 Corinthians 10:6.
Yes. What did you call the topic of part 3?
When you know God early in life.
Okay.
When you know God early in life, which is linked to looking at Abraham. Abraham was able to experience a blessed old age because he knew God early in life and he could enter a covenant, a relationship with God, which directed his path, because he also walked with God and he walked in obedience. Even in the moments where he struggled with a lot of things, he still, leaned on God and fulfilled his covenant. And when he struggled, he always would go back to God and pray for strength. Remember his fears about having a heir, to so many other concerns he had, safety, famine, things like that. That is, like I said, even though Genesis 24 talks about the old age, and over 12 verses, which covers many decades of his life, we have seen his walk with God. How it went from just being him, shifting to his wife, shifting to them having kids, to so many things. Even with Hagar and Ishmael, they also got to experience God being with them, right? So when we talk about when you know God early in life, it's actually a privilege. Salvation early is a privilege, and whenever you get salvation, that is your time. You need to hold on to it. So that is for part 3. Now, in conclusion, when you dissect the life of Father Abraham from Genesis 11 to 23, you can analyze how he consistently walks before God. And that to establish the fact that his continuous walk in holiness before God just kept on improving his life, and his life kept getting better as he aged, and that made him a blessed old man. Still going back to the law of harvest, the universal law of harvest, which is what you sow, you reap. Galatians 6:7, if you remember. Meaning the actions we keep taking consistently, they compound over time, and the results come in. And we see that with what that looks like in having a relationship with God, living in righteousness, obeying the directions of God, walking with God, basically being co-creating with God, co-creating your life with God, your future with God. So that concludes our Sunday school